Hi friends, how are you doing? So today's talk will be on the solar eclipse that is about to happen on 14th December. So now this is quite a elaborate topic and I'll be looking down at my notes because I've got some really interesting notes, some really interesting downloads. So for this reason, don't mind if I just look into my notebook over here. So this solar eclipse is a big event. It is a very big event, especially for the star seeds and the twin flames, okay? Because our major purpose is to take on karma and clear karma, okay? So what is karma? Karma is the 8th house. And this solar eclipse, which is an intense solar eclipse, is happening in the 8th house, okay? So this is a total solar eclipse. It is a solar eclipse where Ketu is involved. So it's a Ketu Sun solar eclipse. It's not a Rahu Sun solar eclipse. So Ketu is the lower part of the being that was cut into two and is usually denoted by darkness. Okay, because Ketu is dark. So this solar eclipse is happening in the sign of Scorpio, first of all. And there are 5 planets that are conjunct in Scorpio, okay? And over and above there is a solar eclipse there, okay? So there is a 5 planets in Scorpio that's creating intense energy add to this solar eclipse, okay? So imagine the intensity of karma playing out or blockages being released, okay? Especially for the star seeds and the twin flames, okay? And even those who are on the spiritual path, this can be one of your major awakenings, okay? Now let's talk about the eclipse in a little bit of more detail. So the eclipse is occurring at the degree of 28.59 of Scorpio, okay? And it is occurring in the last pada of Jyeshta Nakshatra. Now this area is very well known as the Gandanta zone, okay? Because it is the intersection of the water sign and the fire sign, okay? You have the water sign of Scorpio and watery sign of Scorpio and the fiery sign of Sagittarius. So Gandanta is that zone in between these two signs, okay? Now there are some people who say that Gandanta zone is 1 degree on either side. So 29 to 30 degrees of Scorpio and from 0 degrees to 1 degrees of Sagittarius. But then there are other people who believe it is 3 degrees on either side. So from 27 to 30 degrees of Scorpio and 0 degrees to 3 degrees of Sagittarius. Now, I believe in the second theory. Personally, I believe Gandanta zone is not just 1 degree. I believe it is 3 degrees. Okay. So, this means that Gandanta means what? Gandanta means it's a karmic zone. It's a very volatile zone. Like say for example, when water meets fire or fire meets water, what do you get? You get steam, okay? Now what is steam? Steam is a release, okay? So just as steam is a release, there is going to be some sort of a karmic release. Now what is a karmic release? A karmic release is your prarabdha playing out. Now it can happen in two ways, okay? Either in an unconscious state, your prarabdha will play out, which could be a negative scenario, but still the karma is releasing. Or you can choose the other part, which is doing your spiritual work. And if you're doing the spiritual work, you can stop the prarabdha from coming into the physical reality, okay, which is what I have done recently. Okay, and there are many remedies to do this to stop the prarabdha from coming into the physical reality, which I will explain at the end of this video. So Gandanta is that zone. Okay, so this solar eclipse with Ketu is occurring, as I said, 28 degrees 0.59 of Scorpio. So it falls in the Gandanta zone or near the Gandanta zone. So this means that some deep karmic blockages are going to get cleared. Okay. All right. So which planets are involved? The planets that are involved are Sun, Moon, Ketu obviously, and Mercury and Venus, okay? And the signs that will be most affected by the solar eclipse will be Scorpio, because it's happening in your ascendant, so physical reality, physical self. And the second sign is Aries. It is happening in your 8th house. Okay, because for Aries ascendant, 8th house is Scorpio. Third sign is Gemini, because the ruler of Gemini, Mercury, is with Ketu and it's in the 8th house, and also Venus, because Venus, also Taurus, I mean, the ruler of Taurus, Venus, is also in the 8th house with Ketu. Okay. So these four signs will be affected. Let me repeat. It is Scorpio ascendant, Aries ascendant, Gemini, and Taurus. Okay, these are the four signs that are going to be affected by the solar eclipse. Okay, so this solar eclipse, since it's a total solar eclipse, is occurring on a new moon day. Okay, so that was a little bit of a description of the solar eclipse. So now let us, okay, one more thing I forgot to mention is this solar eclipse is also occurring in the formation which we call the Kal Sarpa Yoga. Okay, so first thing is that there are 5 planets in the Scorpio sign. Second thing, a solar eclipse, and third part is occurring in the Kal Sarpa Yoga or dosha, we call, because all the planets are in between Ketu and Rahu, in between Scorpio and Taurus. Okay, 5 planets are in Scorpio, Mars is in Pisces, and then you have Jupiter and Saturn in Capricorn. Okay, so all the planets are falling on one side of the Rahu Ketu axis. Okay, so yeah, so basically there is a fear around eclipses, and the fear is because of this, because your prarabdha gets released if you don't do your spiritual work. If you do your spiritual work, then your blockages get released. Okay, so that is how it is with eclipse. And yeah, so let us now talk about the sun, the aspect of the sun. Okay, so see, since this is a sun Ketu solar eclipse and Ketu denotes our past, okay, this means that some issues related to from your past life or from your childhood will come up. Okay, and sun also denotes your father, so issues that are related with your father figure, or issues like identity issues, career issues, these kinds of issues can come up. Even uh, eye problems, you know, because sun is Agni Tattva, represents Agni Tattva and denotes the eyes, sun and moon, so these issues can come up. And Ketu, as you know, see, sun and Ketu, both these planets, they represent the sun, they represent the soul. Sun represents the soul, and Ketu represents the soul also. Okay, it represents the 5D self. So since the eclipse is occurring here in Scorpio with these two planets, these two major planets, what it denotes is a lot of downloads, a lot of activations. Okay, so you can expect a lot of soul embodiment. Okay, soul awakening, spiritual activations. Okay, so another aspect of sun is wherever that sun is placed. Okay, sun has this trait of shedding light, enlightening that place. Okay, so now if the sun is placed in the 8th house, it will shed its light on the 8th house, the darkness of the 8th house. So the darkness is turning into light. What does this mean? This means that we are releasing our unconscious patterns. Sun is throwing light on the unconscious mind, so a lot of unconscious patterns are going to become conscious. Okay, and regarding if your father figure, you need to be careful with your father, of someone whom you consider as your father figure, because their health could be at risk, or any other important life area of theirs that could be at risk. It could be negatively affected. Okay, so I suggest that you encourage your family members and near and dear ones to do their spiritual work and not escape it, because at this point we tend to behave through unconscious patterns. So we get very reactive rather than consciously taking decisions. We act out subconsciously. Okay, since this is about the sun, it is a soul transformation, as I mentioned. And soul transformation means what? Okay, soul transformation means we are aligning with our soul. Okay, we are aligning with a soul identity more and more, embodying a soul identity. Many a times what happens is we get in life, we get into survival mode in our career, in our relationships, and in this survival mode we are not able to be our true self. Okay, this happens in relationships, this happens in our career. So if it is in your career and relationships, there's nothing wrong or bad to feel about being in that kind of situation. But the thing is, life is about taking steps forward. So if you're functioning from a survival mode in your career or relationships, you have to let go of that step by step. Okay, and come into more and more alignment with your true soul's passions, with your true soul's identity, with your relationships that match who you are and that see who you are and that honor who you are. Okay, so these are the kind of triggers we are going to get at this time. Okay, where identity issues are triggered, where we are searching for a purpose, or where we are searching for our true friends. Okay, all rejection issues will be triggered, and issues of like playing out false identities to get accepted. These kinds of issues can get triggered. Okay, so yeah, we can find a life purpose during this time. We can find a soul family and friends during this time, and also you can, this could be a time where you need to up level your career or up level your business by getting some qualifications, taking some courses, this kind of stuff. Okay, a very important trait of sun is sun gives direction. Sun creates a way. You must have heard this quote, if there is no way, create one. Personally, let me share with you that in my life, I've seen people who have a strong sun, and they are such people that they don't stop. Their determination is so strong, as in what they will do is, if there is no way, I have seen them creating a way where there is no way. So sun has this trait of solving problems, of creating a way. So if there is some issue that you've been struggling with in your life, some problem especially related to your career or to your father figure or to your identity, that problem will be solved, or that issue will get cleared. You'll find clarity on that issue. So this very interesting fact about sun, because sun shows the path ahead. Okay, sun shows you how to come out of this problem. Okay, so for this you will need some contemplation time, because you will not find the answer wrapped up in a paper somewhere thrown on the road while you're walking by. You're not going to find a letter from the sun like that. You're going to spend time in meditation. Okay, you also have to wake up early in the morning and say the sun mantra, or do Surya Namaskar, connect with the sun basically, meditate on your solar plexus. Okay, another aspect that this eclipse can cause is changes in government and power structures. Okay, so now the sun represents government. Okay, so there's going to be significant transformation in the governments all over the world, because see, this is a total solar eclipse and it impacts the entire world. Also, if there are any authority figures who are involved in scandals, okay, those scandals could come up. Okay, and a very important aspect is, if you are in an authority position, make sure you take the right decisions, honest decisions, and also make sure that you're controlling your ego. Don't enforce what you want on others. Don't try to control others. Don't try to impose your egoistic goals onto others. Okay, because otherwise this will not be a good time period for you, because if any imbalances are there, you have to clear those imbalances at that time. So a lot of authority figures, if they are involved in something negative, they can be exposed in the government at this time. Okay, now sun represents government, Saturn represents the masses. So we can have a lot of revolutions and struggles between the masses and the government. In such a situation, people who are in a power position in the government should make sure that they're taking genuine decisions in the welfare of the people. Okay, because otherwise it's not going to be a good scenario for the government. Okay, because sun is eclipsed here. Okay, so now we're talking about, now we'll talk about some personal transformation, that is your 8th house. So 8th house shows personal transformation. Okay, now this is a time period where something really wonderful could happen into your life, or something terrible could happen into your life. So yes, there is fear involved here because this is the eighth house. Okay, and if you make the wrong decision at this time, you could repent for the rest of your life. Okay, so that is the kind of potential reality timelines we are dealing with here, because either it could be a really positive change or it could be a really negative change. Okay, so yeah, another factor is that since this is the eighth house, you are going to experience a significant shift or transformation in some area of your life that you have been ignoring. Now, which area of your life have you been overlooking, ignoring, resisting, and you don't have a good relationship with? Okay, how will you know this area? Well, you will know this area by seeing where Scorpio is placed in your chart. Is Scorpio placed in your eighth house? Is it placed in your fifth house? Is it placed in your ascendant? So, wherever that Scorpio is placed in your chart, that is the area of your life which you have been neglecting. Okay, and this is where significant transformation will happen in your life. Another aspect is you have any planet if you have any planet in the last degrees of Scorpio, then also you have to check those life areas in your life which that planet represents. Okay, like say for example, if you have Sun in the eighth house, okay, you have to examine those areas of your life that Sun represents. If you have Venus in the eighth house, you have to Venus denotes partnerships. Okay, Venus denotes self value, energy exchanges between relationships. It denotes material possessions in your life. It denotes love and happiness in your life. So you have to check those areas in your life where what the planet signifies. Okay, whichever planet is placed there. Yeah, so yeah, so these energies of the eclipse are very unsettled. Okay, since eclipse is occurring in Scorpio, this is not a stable energy. Okay, this is a very unsettled energy. That means sudden events could happen. Like say for example, yesterday there was a sudden rainfall here, and it's the month of December where we don't expect rain. Okay, also in my life, sudden things happen. Okay, certain negative things happen. They weren't very negative, but suddenly, like my bike broke down. Okay, so sudden things can happen, instability can come up. So work with your root chakra, because root chakra brings a lot of stability. So this is another thing. Also storms could happen, cyclones could happen. Yeah, so yeah, this is the Gandanta zone, this is the eighth house. Okay, so one very, very important aspect is some deep seated blockages are going to get released. Okay, deep seated as in stubborn blockages. The karmic imprints and the baggage that you're carrying is so much that you cannot clear that pattern. So it's like a very, very stubborn pattern. Okay, so when fire and water in this Gandanta zone, when transits happen or eclipses happen, then what happens is those stubborn patterns, they are released. Okay, they come to the surface. The Prarabdha karma get released, or the karmic imprints are cleared by Kundalini. Kundalini awakening happens. So stubborn patterns are going to get released. Yeah, so when this deep stubborn patterns are released, what happens is we feel more of ourselves, we are embodying more of a soul, we are aligned more of a soul. So I call this the original blueprint, and we are aligning more with our soul blueprint. Okay. Again, note that this eclipse is occurring in the Kal Sarpa Yoga. Okay, as all the planets are stationed between Rahu and Ketu. Okay, now this will add to the intensity of this eclipse because the Kal Sarpa Yoga lasts till 26th of March. Okay, so what you have to do is, how do you deal with this Kal Sarpa Yoga? Kal Sarpa Yoga basically stands for imbalance and polarity. Okay, so you have to make sure that you are giving equal attention to all areas of your life. Okay, don't hyper focus on any one area of a life. Okay, so this is about distributing your time and energies very well. Okay, are you investing too much in friends? Are you investing too much in work? Are you investing too much in any one area of your life? So that needs to stop, and you have to make sure you create more of a balance in your life. You know, that is how to deal with this Kal Sarpa, yoga, dosha, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, then uh, yeah, eighth house is also a house where your pain body is stored. Okay, now pain body is a term that was invented by Eckhart Tolle when he initially came out with the book The Power of Now. So pain body is a really interesting term. I love that term, and he describes the pain body as an entity in its own self. Okay, actually pain body is nothing but your unconscious subpersonalities. Okay, I might have made this complicated, but if you have a well versed in the spiritual circles, you know that what subpersonalities are, you know what soul fragments are. So when you are unconsciously behaving, when certain behavioral patterns are unconscious within you, you know, you call them sub personalities or you call them soul fragments. Okay, so this is the same thing as the pain body, and these are basically unresolved aspects of your psyche, you know, and these come up and these act out through you unconsciously. For example, the inner child. Okay, now this is the best time to do inner child work, some deep inner child work. So you have to take out some time for meditations and meet your inner child during this time, because that is how we connect with our subconscious mind and our unconscious mind, those lost aspects of our soul, those neglected aspects of our soul. This is also a way to heal a lot of emotional wounds and a lot of emotional turmoil that you might face. Okay, so now I want to talk about the twin flame community. As for the twin flame community, this solar eclipse is occurring in the Kal Sarpa Yoga, as you know. So this is a great time to balance your masculine and feminine energies, okay? Because Kal Sarpa Yoga is related with the separation of divine masculine and divine feminine. So the divine feminine, they can work on balancing their solar plexus and root chakra, and the divine masculines can work on balancing their sacral chakra, heart chakra, and third eye chakra. Okay, so these three chakras. So yeah, so that's about a Kal Sarpa Yoga. This is a very big opportunity, you know. If you are doing your spiritual work, this is a really big opportunity. If you are not doing your spiritual work, then yeah, eclipses can be a really scary time and prarabdha can be released in a negative way. Okay, so there is a very high chance, there is a very high possibility of the divine masculine awakening, you know, the matrix twin awakening, because I've been getting this message continuously. I've been seeing the number 69. Okay, and 6 represents the divine feminine, 9 represents the divine masculine. It is also a number that denotes new beginnings in your life. It can also show the divine masculine awakening. It can show the divine feminine masculine imbalance within yourself. Okay, yeah, so but see, one thing is, I ask of you, if you want your divine masculine to awaken to all the divine feminine, or if you're a divine masculine who's watching and you want your divine feminine to awaken, she might be the runner. One thing that you all have to do is maintain celibacy. This is really very important, because when you maintain celibacy, what you're doing is you're sending your energy to the left brain or right brain, whatever needs balancing. For example, if you are a divine feminine and you are celibate, okay, during this eclipse, at least for 3 to 4 months, you have to maintain celibacy, because this gives power for the awakening. Okay, and the negative forces, they will try to psychically attack you by creating the sex urge. Okay, because celibacy is the most powerful weapon to awaken your divine masculine. I'm saying the term weapon because this is the most powerful weapon to combat the psychic attacks, actually. Because when you celebrate, your energy circulating within your field, you know, there's no energy leakage. Okay, and this energy builds up, and it clears the blockages. Okay, so note this point: if you want your divine masculine to awaken, you have to be celibate at least for 4 months. Okay, so because the awakening needs power, the masculine aspects within you and the matrix twin outside. For that to awaken, for the masculine to awaken on the outside and for the blockages to be released within you, you need power, you need energy. So you cannot release that power through sacral chakra 3D orgasms. You know, 3D orgasms and 5D orgasms are completely different. 3D orgasms is like just a release, it's like going to the toilet and pissing, that is 3D orgasm. But 5D orgasm is a higher state. It's like a continuous build-up of energy. The energy is building and building and building, and you can experience orgasms in different chakras. It is amazing. It is the best sex experience you could have. Okay, so if you want to know more about 5D sex, you can study about tantric sex. You can go for tantric sex workshops, but I'm not very sure about the courses. Check whether you have a really good teacher, because this tantric sex has been misused a lot. This tantric sex practices have been misused, and especially for twin flames, I don't suggest doing this with anybody else other than your twin. Okay, you can even do it with your 5D twin in deep meditations, and it naturally occurs when the chakra merges happen. Okay, so I think I went too far on this topic, but the point is maintain celibacy and don't release energy to 3D orgasms. Okay, you have to move the energy up so all your chakra blockages get released. Okay, and remember, 3D sex is just a faint shadow of 5D sex. Okay, 3D sex is like you just worked hard all day and then you just go to sleep. It's just a release. It's really very bad. It's really what can I say? 5D sex is the real union. It's orgasming in all the chakras. All your chakras open up. It's beautiful, and you get into different states of samadhi. You get into different states of ecstasy with your twin or your partner, your soulmate. Even you can have 5D sex with your soulmate. Okay, so another aspect of 8th house is chronic diseases, chronic illnesses. Okay, so now why this chronic illnesses manifest? Chronic illnesses could be something sexual, if you're having a sexual infection, or if you're having, like, say for example, teeth issues, gum issues, or anything that has been chronically repeating in your life. It could be, it can even be cancer, you know it could be heart problems, it could be kidney issues, anything. So basically, chronic issue, what it represents, that you have not addressed the root cause of the problem. Okay, and the root cause is always in the 8th house. So till the time you address the root cause of the issue will just keep repeating. You can take medications, but it will just suppress the symptoms temporarily. It will not heal the disease. It's a chronic disease because you have to handle the root cause, and which is in the 8th house. Okay, so another aspect to take care of is addictions and obsessions. Okay, this is another aspect what the 8th house denotes. So you have to be very careful. Don't get into any addictions, don't get into any obsessions. Obsessions could be like watching Netflix, obsessions could be like watching YouTube, too much of YouTube. Obsessions could be eating, or even you know sex addiction, porn addiction, alcoholism, and whatever the common addictions that you have. So see, addictions doesn't mean that you are a bad person. Addiction means you're just running away. You're running away from addressing some deep pain inside you that you need to see, you need to feel, you need to acknowledge, and you need to find the tools to work with and heal those issues. Okay, so that's the only cause of addictions. So this pain is not at a conscious level, it is repressed deep inside you. Okay, so it goes into the cellular trauma, becomes cellular memory, and that is how the disease manifests, chronic diseases, because this pain is repressed. Now for me, I know I have particular issues with a certain chakra in my body, and those issues were at a really deep unconscious level of my mind. So they were manifesting as diseases. Okay, they were manifesting like hair fall, they were manifesting like teeth issues, bone issues for me. because it is repressed. You are not consciously aware of all these pain patterns. Okay, so now let's talk about the Jyeshtha Nakshatra and what it denotes. Okay, this eclipse is occurring in the Jyeshtha Nakshatra on a new moon day. Okay, so Jyeshtha represents authority figures. For any authority figures, it is highly advised to not misuse their power. Okay, if you do this, this period could cause bad results. Okay, learn to discern between your ego and the right decision. Okay, and take a decision from a healthy mental emotional stance. Okay, don't take a decision from your personal issues and baggage. Don't take a decision out of turbulent emotions. Okay, because when you are at an authority place, you have to remember to keep your issues at home. Okay, and serve the position properly. Okay, so for this reason, Jyeshtha represents your inner demons. Okay, because we are acting from unconscious patterns, which is a shadow self. So our shadow self is that inner demon, and we need to win over that inner demon. Okay, so it symbolizes overcoming the inner demons and the shadow self. Now, Jyeshtha shows some really important traits that we need to integrate. Now, this eclipse is happening in Jyeshtha, that's why I'm talking about these traits. Jyeshtha teaches us responsibility, focus. Okay, it also represents seriousness or stoicism, stoic nature, serious nature, taking your responsibilities, being focused in life, financial stability, grounding. Okay, a planned, organized approach towards life, organized lifestyle, your schedules. Okay, Jyeshtha also uh, represents sacrifice and limitations. Okay, so many times we don't want to sacrifice in life. Okay, we don't want to sacrifice our pleasures, we don't want to sacrifice those things that are precious to us. But if you want to achieve any goal, there are sacrifices involved. Okay, there are sacrifices involved, and also you need to be that kind of a person who knows your limitations, who accepts your limitations and consciously works with your limitations. Because if you don't look at your limitations, unconsciously you'll be running away from them. Okay, so these are all the aspects that Jyeshtha represents, and this eclipse in Jyeshtha is going to bring forward for us. So next aspect I want to talk about is spiritual awakening. I have mentioned before that there is a high likelihood for the matrix train to awaken, for general masses who are on the spiritual path, the next level of your awakening, the star seeds and twin flames who are already awakened could undergo the next level next level of your awakening. Okay, just the next activation. Yeah, so, but why the awakening happens? Okay, which planets cause the awakening? The awakening happens mainly because of the Sun and the Ketu, which is placed in the unconscious mind of the 8th house. Okay, so Ketu is the Karak of spiritual awakening, and Sun is the soul. So, both placed in the 8th house show an intense and powerful spiritual awakening. And whichever life area you're ignoring, as I said somewhere in this video, whichever life area you're ignoring, there will be a definite shift in that life area, and it will be a gradual shift. It won't be an overnight shift, it will be a gradual shift. And the Jupiter Saturn conjunction that is happening in Capricorn, now this is not regarding solar eclipse, but still how this works is it helps to bring more balance in our life. As I explained about Kal Sarpa Yoga, bringing more balance into your life, so Jupiter Saturn conjunction will aid in bringing balance in your life. Okay, so now let us talk about the precautions. Okay, regarding precautions, the first thing you have to do is delay decision making. Okay, so Mercury is in the 8th house, it is conjunct Ketu. So the decisions that you might take at this time will not come from a stable place, it will be very clouded, so you're not having clarity of mind. There is a lot of emotional turbulence also that is happening, due to which this is the wrong time to make decisions. So wait till the end of December, wait till Mercury moves out of Scorpio and goes into Sagittarius, and then you take your decisions. Okay. Second thing, don't involve in clashes with the government or your father figure for the next 4 months. Okay, instead of involving in those clashes, work on your karmic patterns, work on releasing your karmic patterns. Okay, so next thing I would advise you is mantra chanting. Okay, it is very important to chant the sun mantra. Wake up in the morning, rise early. It's very important to rise early and chant the sun mantra. Do the Surya Namaskar. Okay, and also chant the Mahamrityunjaya mantra. Okay, so sun mantra and Mahamrityunjaya mantra, very important. Then avoid addictions, avoid obsessions. Okay, make sure the food that you are eating is sattvic food. Okay, make sure you are wearing clothes that are of a light color, either whites, yellows, or pastel shades. Avoid dark blues, avoid black colors, avoid dull colors. Okay, bring more brightness into the life, because sun is in Scorpio, sun is eclipse, so you need to add that sun energy. Okay, another important precaution is meditation, because since so many planets are in the 8th house, you know, you need to get a lot of energy from directly from your soul. Okay, so connect with your soul is very important. Yeah, I've spoken about sattvic food. Yes, another thing you can do is you can work with incense. You can work with root chakra incense like dragon's blood. Okay, sandalwood also is good for the root chakra. Cedar wood is good for the root chakra. And you can also work with solar plexus incense like uh, cinnamon. Cinnamon incense is really good for the solar plexus. What else? Cinnamon, sandalwood, dragon's blood. Hmm. What else did I mention? So these kinds of incenses, we can do more research on incense and work with incense also. But the most important thing is mantras. Okay. So now at the end of this video, I will chant the Mahamrityunjaya mantra, because this mantra has positive energies, and eclipses can be a time where negative energies are released in the atmosphere. The negative energies are released because Prarabdha is releasing, right? People are behaving through unconscious patterns. So rash driving and fights, arguments for silly reason, all these things will increase. So this mantra is very powerful. It literally has the power to dematerialize things. If you really study deeper aspects of this mantra, it can cut prarabdha, because prarabdha means something manifesting in your physical reality. How it manifests? Through your root chakra. Okay, so this mantra works on your root chakra, because I've experienced it. These days I've been saying it, and I've felt my root chakra vibrate, spin, and changes in my energy when I've said the Mahamrityunjaya mantra. Okay, so let's chant the Mahamrityunjaya mantra now. ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धना मृत्युर्मोक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धना मृत्युर्मोक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धना मृत्युर्मोक्षीयमामृता ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धना मृत्युर्मोक्षीयमामृता. Okay, so this is a very powerful mantra, and the mantra has to be pronounced correctly, and it has to maintain a certain rhythm. And there are many other practices like maintaining a certain time for saying the mantra, maintaining a certain place, a certain posture, a certain mudra, any mudra you can choose, and saying it within a certain rhythm, pronunciation properly, celibacy while you're saying the mantras, So these kinds of practices are followed along with chanting mantras, okay? So I hope you loved the information-packed video of which I made for today, and I hope this time period of the next 3 months goes very smoothly for you, because the effects of the eclipse are seen 4 months to 5 months post the eclipse. Remember that always. Okay, the effects are not with the negative effects are seen in that particular month. So now the eclipse is on 14th, so the negative effects are seen before the eclipse, 15 days, and after the eclipse. But the positive effects happen gradually because the prarabdha releases first, and or the spiritual transmutation happens, and then after 4 or 5 months you see the positive results. Okay, so I'm signing off for now. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please share it, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Okay, so I hope this period goes safely for you, and I will see you soon.